Hello everyone and welcome to the 2020 Silver Cup. This Disc Golf Pro Tour Silver Series event is presented by Discmania and Rollin Ridge, and also a Grow Disc Golf 5K, 10K event. We've got a great group for you here at Silver Creek: Jake Spencer, Matt Bell, along with Isaac Fintak, and of course Emerson Keith. So we're going to give you round one's action taking place at Silver Creek Park in Manitowoc, Wisconsin. Beautiful overhead shot as we move into hole number one, 250 feet. This is a dog leg that starts off with a little bit of a left to right movement on it. Now you see plenty of trees. This has both a short and a long tee. Most of the holes at this course actually have a shorter or a long tee, and at one point even a championship tee has been added to many of the holes. Excited for the super silver layout here. This is Emerson Keith going with a forehand. And looks like good carry, even though he hit one of the first trees available. Matt Bell of Team DGA. I think it's down there most of the way. Jake Spencer coming out of Minnesota. And this is Isaac Fintak. Isaac, the one player I'm not too familiar with, he's out of Plymouth, Wisconsin, which is about 40 minutes south of Manitowoc. Mostly has played advanced, so it'll be exciting to see how he fares here this weekend. And Emerson's got a little forehand right up to the pin. Looks like it's going to be an easy par to get started. Got to be excited about Matt Bell. Both him and Emerson, just two of the best putters you'll ever see. So we'll see if we can see any fireworks out of these guys here. This coverage is 100% bonus coverage. The Pro Tour, GK Productions, Par Save, all were locked in for the event. And only because my pal Dustin was ready and available, we got a little extra footage for you guys. So I hope that you can sit back and enjoy the bonus action. Jake not converting here on the first hole. Matt's doing a little bit of work, but saves the par.
You could just put the mini there, like it's falling. Right. I mean, just like stick it right there. That's close enough.
And Emerson with the assist here, trying to just clarify a little bit on the rules. And now the next two holes, I believe, were underwater, or there was some kind of rain issue or something of that nature. And I believe that's why they actually skipped the next couple of holes. And we're going to make up for those later on in a different section of the course. So we move on to hole number 4, which plays up this hill. You see the Mando sign on the right there. There's a little arrow. It goes up to the top of this hill. Normally this is a hole in itself, but you're going to make the bend and you're going to actually go to the basket that we find on the next hole. So it's really just a combined hole that you would see. If you were out there playing the course, you would play these as two separate holes typically, but they combine this one. They also consider a par 3. I think some statistics, if they're going to continue to use this specific combination of holes from one to the next, I think they may be looking at an adjustment on the par. This is a very, very challenging par 3. If it sets up for anyone, it would be a lefty, though. And if I looked, I saw Isaac's only been playing, at least a PDGA member, for a few years. Very impressed with all of the shots that he does have. And we see actually now Emerson is still got to go left of this Mando tree. The basket's probably about 150 feet to his right and back down the hill, maybe even longer than that. That is a very difficult shot. Jake's going to need a high stalling hyzer, or he may go with, I guess, a low skip shot as well. We'll see how that fares out. Did I just say fares out? I think it'd be plays out or how it fares. We'll just combine them. Just like this hole. And really, that's about as good of a drive as you could ask for that you see from Matt. And that's what he's left with for his approach there. This is Jake to save his par. And just as a frame of reference, at the top of the hill that they were throwing to a few moments ago, that is directly behind there is Lake Michigan. So one of my favorite spots on this entire course is actually standing on the tee for what would be this basket and looking directly behind you. And that's where you would find Lake Michigan. Just a absolutely beautiful view. The bogey is going to put Jake to 1 over. Emerson's going to do the same, and a little bit of a spoiler. We didn't see any birdies on this hole during round 1. There were, unfortunately, 0 birdies in this pretty stout field. Just pars and above. We're going to move over to hole number 5. 365 feet shooting through this tunnel, and then you're really just trying to hit this gap as well as it then veers off to the left. You see the multiple pin placements that we're heading over, and then it hooks back to the right. Very, very difficult hole. And it looks like Matt pured most of the gap, and then it got a late hit, which was good, and then an even later second hit, which kind of stalled his forward progress. That appears to be clean on that left side for Isaac. Emerson not quite dialed in. Somehow sneaks his way through there. He might be looking at a long putt. Now Emerson's got plenty of work to do here. There's just not a clear line to the basket. That's incredible. Just flexing it left to right, gives himself a look. This is Bell. Probably about 60 feet. Yeah. Matt Bell. Huge putt. This comes in as the 5th most difficult hole on the course, averaging 3.19. So 13% of our field finding a way to get under par on this. 61% of the field taking par, and that's exactly what Emerson's going to do. And Jake also putting himself in position. And he cans it. So Jake, part of that 13% that find the par here. Again, 5th most difficult, so pretty impressive hole to get. And just around the corner, these guys are already thinking about the signature hole out at Silver Creek Park, the Lighthouse. As Jake, Isaac remains at even. So we move over to the Lighthouse hole. You're playing all the way down this tunnel. It's slightly sloping, plays from right to left. I'm going to get up and above and take a look at one of the most photographed baskets probably in all of disc golf, as the basket is perched up on top of the lighthouse out on this, I don't know if jetty's the right word. You'd think I live within a half hour of Lake Michigan, I would know, but I'm not a water guy. Beautiful hole. Again, one of the most beautiful holes and greens you'll find in all of disc golf. And Matt just a bit short on making the corner. And unless you have a forehand like Jake here, yeah, I could see not being excited about attacking this one as a lefty. Looks like he turned that one over, though. It's really all about, I know this may sound all too obvious, but it's just all about position here. If you don't put yourself in a good position off of the tee, there's just no way to get near the basket in order to have a look. And once you do get onto the green, you're already thinking about how aggressive you want to be on your putt. So you really need to set yourself up to have the birdie look. And I think eagles are definitely conceivable here. You have to have a nearly perfect drive, but throughout many years of playing, I've seen some pretty incredible shots here. And we'll see if that carried far enough to get him all the way to the green. That looks to be a little bit right for Bell. And now you're thinking about the wind and everything else, and Emerson's shot was just beautiful to get him to where he is, to have a look at the basket from there so you can just get a layup. But now you're thinking about the wind. It's clearly going to be coming in off the lake. You're playing to an elevated basket. And the smart play, someone like Jake there is just putting himself up there right next to the pin. You know, the waves crashing. Yeah, that is a great birdie putt there by Matt Bell. I want to thank all the presenting sponsors, as we mentioned in the opening. Also, this is a Disc Golf Pro Tour stop on the Silver Series. So plenty of the Disc Golf Pro Tour on-course assets and recognition out there. Jim Van Lannen and crew from the event putting on a tremendous show, and Jeff Spring and the Pro Tour crew out there doing their thing as well. Discmania and Rollin Ridge, your presenting sponsors. And the Lighthouse hole is complete. 16th easiest hole. We did see 56% of the field taking birdies. We move over hole number 7, 330 feet. And if I'm not mistaken, this is the 5K, 10K ace. And that is in conjunction with dynamic discs. If you were to get a hole-in-one, you would be eligible to win $5,000. If you get a hole-in-one with a dynamic disc, you would win $10,000. And it is additionally being recorded, if I recall. Now, this may not be happening during this first round. I know during the first round of competition, they were supposed to be playing Rollin Ridge, but due to the weather and due to the conditions out at Rollin Ridge, they were not able. So very late in the planning, they actually had to make an adjustment and bring the entire field over to Silver Creek for all 3 rounds for the MPO and FPO fields. Originally, they were just supposed to play here rounds 2 and 3, but with Rollin Ridge being a little too wet, they weren't able to play there during the first round. You see everyone kind of struggling a little bit here. Not too many clean shots. This plays slightly uphill. And I know it does say hole 7. Like I said, we had to skip a few holes here on this course. We will play a full 18 holes. So a few extra holes were added. There's 36 holes on the property, so pretty easy to come up with 18 holes to be playing for the tournament. Wow. Great putt by Emerson. Things haven't come easy for him yet, and that was a great birdie. Matt's going to walk away with the par. We see 37% of the field getting birdies here. Oh, and that one just getting away from Isaac a little, maybe a little lapse in concentration. We've got 12% of the field going bogey. No doubles, but this came in as the 12th most difficult hole on the course. We move over to hole number 8, 503 feet. Slightly uphill, and you need to, I feel like you need to penetrate past this point right here. That gives you a really good clean, maybe clean's not the word, that gives you a look at the basket. But you need to get past, I feel like, that bush and those 2 trees to give you any look at getting all the way up there. Now, I'm going to see something creative here. And that gets past the bush and up and to the right, so if you can get a little bit creative, I think that might be able to get up and down from there. This is the 9th most difficult hole on the course. So right in the middle. It's just really all about being on that short grass. If you're not on the short grass on this hole, you're definitely scrambling hard to even get a look at the basket.
There you go.
Anybody would take that all day long. Great shot by Jake. And we'll see exactly how that finished. He said it kicked right, which probably doesn't mean anything good. Beautiful shot there by Emerson. And Isaac trying to fight his way out and heads over the other side of the fairway. We'll see if he's got anything from there. Here's Matt Bell. Quick shout out as well. DGA offering to give a couple discs for me to give away. So we're going to find a way to do so. Oh, great shot there by Matt. So I want to thank DGA for the support here, the bonus coverage. I want to thank all my Patreon subscribers. Really, it's because of them I'm able to give you guys any extra coverage here of this weekend's event. Also, thanks to Jeff Showers, a little bit of additional work and some drone preview action, him working with Jim Van Lannen. Really appreciate it. This is Isaac just trying to get done with hole number 8, and you can hear the wind as we've played slightly up this hill. Sweet birdie, Matt Bell. Isaac unfortunately follows up previous bogey with a bogey here. This hole and the next tee, as my voice cracked, is high and left. Mach X brings it in. Kind of notorious, as random as this is, for fire ants. I think of the 10 or 15 years actually that I played this tournament and how many times we were out at this course throughout the years. And as these holes got added throughout the years, it seemed like everywhere you sat, you were sitting in a mound of fire ants. Hopefully they're no longer there. All right, move over to hole 9, a par 4. There's the OB, which is that road and the parking lot. Of course, you're throwing over the road, so that plays more like a river, I should say. And then the basket is going to be put right here. This is a temporary basket. This isn't a pin that you would typically see. Normally the pin is much shorter. It's actually short of the road. But with this weekend's layout, we go up and over the road. Matt looking for a safe signal. Eventually he gets it. And this is 524, which is, believe it or not, relatively attackable. I mean, you have to throw, of course, an accurate shot, but it plays downhill, probably plays closer to 500, maybe even sub 500. 524 even seems like a lot. Seems like that's longer than I would think. And it's Jake finding the long grass, but that's inbounds. Please do not twist my words either. I'm not suggesting don't go play this tee. I'm just saying this used to be fire ants everywhere. Right on where that tee is. Maybe they permanently got rid of them by putting the tee there eventually, because that used to be a dirt tee for a few years while he was working in the championship pads. But let me tell you, there was some knack to always have fire ants up there. Matt Bell. Little body English trying to get it to will its way in. And that's a really different angle than I'm used to seeing. Here's Emerson. So this is Jake for his birdie. I feel like before I even click on it, I'm going to guess this has to be one of the easier holes found out here on the course statistically. And yes, there it is. We're looking at the 18th most difficult. Another way to say that would be the easiest. Averaging 3.29 on this par 4. And not so much a spoiler. You've probably seen them, most of them already. There were 6 players that eagled this during round 1. So took the 2 on it, and we had 69% overall either take birdies or eagles. So this is kind of one of those must-get holes, at least for birdie. So Jake's giving one back to the field here. 28% of the field pars it, and 4% of the field bogey, or yeah, took bogey or worse. So we see 75% birdies here. Moving on, hole number 10, a par 3 downhill. There's a couple of pin positions on this hole. The original pin is where this wood chip is right there, right in that general area. But it actually goes deeper for the championship layout. And this is a low, just tunnel shot, just a piped low tunnel shot. Huge advantage to be right-handed here, because as you throw it low, if it gets any forward skip, you don't want it to skip flare, you just really kind of want it to skip straight. And as it skips straight, it will hopefully head toward the pin. That looks like it might be a little bit early. We'll see where that finished out. But you're just trying to throw it low and have a gentle skip straight ahead. And that looks pretty good as well. The main trouble, well, besides missing your initial gap here, is if you come in short and left, you're going to probably be in a bush that gives you just no look at the pin. Jake's really got to control. Wow. I'm not sure if that's his play or if he just completely misfired. I don't think his nonverbals gave me a clear indication as that gets pitched out into the fairway. And again, if you come in short left, like where that is, that's kind of when you're in a world of hurt. Let's see if he can. That forehand makes me think he played ultimate. And that is a solid shot by Isaac. And Emerson trying to do a little work here. And that is a dangerous play, but executed perfectly. If that rolls anywhere deep or down into the right where St. Matt is, you could have a hard time getting up and down. Matt trying to get comfortable here. Tickles the high left chain. Unfortunately, can't get it to drop. This comes in as the 8th most difficult, and talk about a distribution here. We've got 25% below par, 50% at par, and 25% above par. Average 3.06 as Matt feels like he missed out on one. That was that's a great drive to even put himself in position and be looking at that pin high uphill birdie putt. Move over to hole 11. Now this typically plays much shorter to, well, where that basket is actually, or there's even another basket. Those are the two pins I'm used to seeing, but in the Super Silver layout, we play all the way down to this longer pin right here at 495 feet. This sets up well for a righty backhander. And you're really just going to play it wide, just like Emerson did. The spotter didn't want to give an indication. Maybe he was just assuming that Emerson knew how great of a shot it was. And that's gonna leave a mark. He needs, oh, he needed that to get lower and then hook up, so that's gonna be out of bounds on the right-hand side. Playing it off the road, I don't think is necessarily the absolute intentional option, but if you do happen to skip off the road, you're probably in good shape. So now Dustin moves to kind of the turn there. And what a shot by Bell. He actually goes deep of the basket on the approach. Dealing with the wind a little bit. We see Jake turn that one over just a little too early. And Isaac's trying to make some magic happen. Maybe it get up and down, try and save his par after the OB stroke. And from a knee with a limited amount of power. Yeah, that's an incredible shot there by Emerson. And to be able just to control the nose of the disc, as you can see and hear the wind, that was a very high-level shot there by Emerson. Jake a little bit frustrated as that one fluttered. All right. That's a huge par save. And kind of surprised to see Bell not connect there after going deep on his approach. And Isaac taking the par after going out of bounds. Yeah. You would never expect to see that out of Matt Bell. A relatively short missed putt. A little rattled, but Emerson's going to tap in for his birdie. Bell is unfortunately going to take a bogey here. We're going to move on to hole 12 in a moment. Two of my favorite models in disc golf, Paige and Grady Shoe. We move over to hole 12. Again, there's a couple of tees that we just went over, but we're playing from the long one. And there is a stream that is all the way on the left side of this fairway, and it shouldn't come into play unless you have a really bad shot. Believe it or not, even from the short tees, you can find that stream. There's a Mando right off the tee and then a Mando down and on that right side. They're basically trying to prevent you from throwing out and around and bringing the highway or the road into play. And yeah. That's incredible. I can't say much to that. That's just an incredible shot by Isaac. That's exactly what you're looking to do here. to stay out of that tree, which is like Velcro. I think I still have a few discs in there, probably from 2003. And Jake shot, not to underplay it, was incredible as well. He's put himself out into the open. He'll have a good clean look at the basket from that right side, and he definitely navigated left of the Mando, so really good position.
Thank you.
And a good approach shot there by Bell. And Jake just trying to make easy work of it. When you put yourself out there, there's only a few trees to contend with. You don't even have to go through what you're seeing here by Emerson. Not that Emerson's got any problems with it, but and this is an eagle look for Isaac. And maybe, not too surprisingly, this comes in as one of the easier holes on the course after you see how these guys attacked it. And Matt makes the adjustment for his putting stroke. He's got the birdie. 49% of the field getting below par here. And that includes 3 eagles. Jesse Gintham, Lance Brown, and Jake Hebenheimer. Sorry, Jake. So 3 eagles, including a 60-footer by Jake. Not this Jake. This Jake's just taking a birdie. Isaac, make sure to reset so he doesn't give another one back like he did on the shorty, and that's a star frame. And we move over hole 13, par 3. This to the shorter pin used to be one of my favorite holes on the course. The short pin being right there. Just a kind of a gentle 260-foot gentle turnover, and then they pushed it back, making the hole even tougher. 344 feet. So you need to come in with a little bit of speed and maybe get some ground play. I don't know how accessible it really is in the air. So I think you're going to need a little bit of ground play coming in low. That's up and on the left side.
About a foot away.
Emerson saying about a foot away from perfection there. You see the wind push that, and just a great drive there by Jake. Or correction, Isaac, I apologize. This is Jake. Beautiful flip up. Also, great drive by Isaac. I mean Jake. Just kidding. And Matt's parked for the short pin. This comes in as the seventh most difficult. Not so much for Emerson. He's going to be one of the 14% that were below par here. 68% with a par and 18% above par. Wait, was he talking about cookies? All right, so speaking of cookies, I don't know if you can get enough cookies ever. That's what I need to know. That will make you eligible to win some sweet plastic from DGA. Tell me in the comments below your favorite cookie. Can be any time. Could be the ones Grandma made. Could be the ones you bought last night. Could have been the sleeve of them you ate this morning. I don't care. Tell me what your favorite cookie is. That is one way to be eligible for a giveaway here, as Isaac's going to tap in for his par. Love me some cookies. All right, we're going to move over. Hole 14, par 3, 455 feet. I sound like a broken record, but we're about to come up on the short pin. That's the original pin. And as they continue to make the course tougher and longer for the Super Silver layout is when we come to see this longer pin here. Now, this is really tough to attack just because not only do you have a low ceiling that you have to navigate through the mouth, but you have 455 feet, and that river or stream I talked about on the 2 holes ago, you can see it now flowing on the left side, so it can come into play here. And that's a pretty solid roller there by Emerson. Really no surprise. This comes in as the 3rd most difficult hole on the course. Just 1% of the field birdieing it. That's high and right. Shout out to Jim and all the work. I know that bridge didn't exist even just a few years ago. Seemed to always be kind of a wet area you had to walk over when you were going down this fairway. And I'm not sure how many years that bridge has now been there, but great shot there by Matt Bell. Isaac's got some work to do. He's just trying to get back out, and unfortunately he kicks all the way over to the other side of the fairway. I love the play there. Low, play a little bit of a skip to try and get up to the pin. I know he had a very low ceiling in there. And we'll see if Emerson, who rolled up onto this hillside, let's see if he's got a lane to get out, and it looks like he does. Solid recovery shot. The long look at birdie here by Jake. Birdie by Jake. Is that a thing? I've retired my body by Jake videos and workouts. But birdie by Jake, that seems like that should be a disc golf instructional series. You're welcome, Jake. Just reach out to your sponsor about that. I'd like to see that. And Isaac in position for the bogey. Matt Bell seems to be about circle's edge. Oh, bang. You saw it first and only here, folks. The 1%, I think I referenced earlier actually, is in fact Matt Bell. So the one birdie found in more than 100 players, 109 players, right here on the bonus footage, DGA's own Matt Bell. Looks like actually Isaac walking away with the double.
And the whole gravel area was all out of bounds. Yeah.
Talking about various layouts we've seen throughout the years out here. So I'm not the only one that lives in yesteryear. I like that. Fun fact, Johnny V and I of Smashbox TV played this event the first 15 years it existed. As we move to this uphill shot, one of my least favorite when I played. Hole 15, I think it used to be the old hole 6, and plays up to this pin. Now, you've seen it in previous years in a longer pin up at the, even further and above that, they decided to make this one a little bit more attackable for birdie. And the 353 plays at least 400, probably even more. You're throwing basically straight uphill. You got to stay below or above that branch. Short and left is terrible. That's a pitch out. If you go to the right, you might be able to find your way out, but you cannot be short and left. Made it all the way out. Looks to be in a good position. Oh no, 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 no. Stay out. If it stayed on the edge, it might be tolerable, but if he kicked in at all. Okay, so he's on the edge. And he's up a little further than I thought he was. Shoot, I think it's farther. Yeah, farther is it. You guys know the difference? I didn't know the difference till a few years ago. Thankfully, the YouTube comment section helped correct me. That's why I love you guys. Why didn't I learn that in school is the only question. I don't know, good approach by Matt. Emerson with a long look. Jake from about 30, 38 feet maybe. Sit down. Well, that's not fun. See if Jake can regroup. Yeah, certainly. It's hard to mentally block that out of your mind that you were just putting for birdie. You had a good line. Of course, it was low in this case. And now here you are making a tester putt uphill just to walk away with the par. And it's hard to kind of wipe that all out of your head, to wipe that all out of your thought process of why am I making a tough putt now for par? And yeah, I don't have much more to say to that. It's just really tough to do. And we see a par there. So Spencer with the lone bogey as we move on to hole 16. That Mando sign means you can't go out and around those trees to the left. You have to go down and to the right. And as you go over the short pin, we move all the way to the long pin, which then can bring this road into play. Now, that's the main road to bring you into the park. And
Flip too late.
we'll see if that works out.
Come back.
And after what feels like 3 minutes, Matt gets the save sign. And after a while, apparently just the amount of time it took to determine if that was out of bounds means it must have been a huge throw. And Emerson. Bad news for Emerson. Finding OB across the road. This hole does bend down and to the right. It's just a matter of, does Jake have enough speed to keep it low enough, but then also have it hyzer basically all the way there, and maybe get a little bit of a late skip depending on what the grass is doing down there. This comes in as the 11th most difficult hole on the course. And great forward progress even after hitting what sounded like a pretty solid part of the branch. Great approach shot. Really got to control the speed. Of course, you don't want it skipping straight ahead and finding the OB. And incredible that Matt finished just a few feet short of the OB road there. So he's going to be able to get up and down. He's going to be looking at a birdie. This is Emerson. Oh, almost with the elusive OB birdie. Don't see that too often. Nearly identical attempts there by the two of them, hitting right off the front of the cage. Matt's rounding everybody up for story time. And Latitude Van, what is that? Rebecca Cox coming in to get in on the action. Good luck, Rebecca. Move over to 16A, otherwise known as the Armory holes, 16A and B. These used to be temporary holes, and now they're available for play. And they got, I think, put into this event large in part because they had to skip holes 2 and 3. So these holes were then added. Like I said, with 36 holes on the property, you've got a lot of opportunities. And this is 525 feet, a par 3.
Yeah, not too bad.
And you see that post right there. Back in my day, just beating that post was considered a pretty good drive. I mean, even Barry Schultz would say that, and he's really good. Now we're seeing these guys throw so far, but that post is a great reference point. You want to be down and to the right where you see the spotter standing there. If you could get to that spotter, you've put yourself in good position.
Should be not allowed to change a course the day of a tournament.
Emerson maybe didn't get a chance to go out and practice this particular hole, or these two holes, I'm guessing. Looks like he was trying to put a little too much on it, and that's why he got hung up on the trees on that right side. And a good looking turnover. You'd have to be a pretty powerful lefty to drive this the entire way. And right-handed players certainly can. I've seen some pretty amazing shots throughout the years, and that was a great recovery there by Emerson.
Sit down.
There's the other pin right next to where Jake is. Can't imagine, thanks to you, Disc. I'll double check. I can't imagine we've seen too many people get birdie or better here. Well, I guess birdie or eagle. Eagle being the ace. Wow, and working really hard to ultimately walk away with the par. Emerson's going to remain at that 6 under. This comes in as the second most difficult hole on the course. and just 5 competitors were able to get the birdies here. So looks like our card's lining up, trying to all walk away with the pars, but just 5 competitors able to get birdies. And one of them, by Nate Perkins, shows on UDisc at 171 feet. So 38 feet, 49 feet, Barella from 38, and Gavin Rathbun at 27 feet. So average distance probably close to 50 feet in order for you to get the birdie here. 16A, second most difficult hole. Let's take a look at 16B as we play parallel right back to where we came from. And we're going to end a little bit shorter, 324 feet. But as you saw, the OB on the left side, and then also the parking lot and up on the right where the Armory is. I'm guessing that is technically out of bounds as well. You see the flag blowing left to right. And this sets up beautifully for Matt Bell.
Oh, I hit that lock.
And just like that, Matt Bell, what? Oh no, we're gonna see Matt Bell again. Oh, and the debut of this red line thing. What is this? Perfect. Look at that. DGA helping support the new red line thing. That's not the name. I need a name from you guys. What shall I call that moving forward? Disc Golf Comedy and DGA teaming up, a little assist there. I need a name moving forward. That's up and to the right, but I need a name for what we will call that anytime we can have one of those. We've seen them, of course, presented by other tremendous media companies. As always, I'm late to the game, but yeah, put it in the comments. I got to give you a prize. If you come up with the best name, you will certainly win a prize, maybe even a couple of prizes. Got to be unique and original and appropriate and applicable for any of the videos moving forward. And I know that's a tall task. All of my names have already been shot down by myself. All right, back to business. We've got Isaac. Oh, just tickling the chains. This is Jake for his birdie. Needless to say, a great drive by Matt Bell, who, as he mentioned, put himself all the way up there. Emerson with the same result of a birdie as he pushes to 7 under. This is the 14th most difficult. 43% coming in below par, 49% at par, and 8% above par. And sure enough, Brandon Damerjan? Sorry, Brandon aced this as Matt Bell. Just a little tap. Nice shot, Matt. A little shout out to DGA. Move over, hole 17, just 2 left to play, 426 feet. There is a Mando. You have to stay inside of that pole so that the players aren't throwing out and around into the road. Again, that's the road that brings our players in. And then they've pushed it back to the longer pin position here, which definitely brings the road then into play. And that needs to sit. That's going to be short, but a good shot by Matt. And huge shout out. Dustin, who's getting the bonus camera footage, thought to stay on this side of the road to try and get a little bit of the swing as opposed to the blind uphill shot he would have got from behind the tee. I can't say it enough. Dustin, you've just been killing it. You gave us all the preserved footage, and then to go out and capture 3 rounds here at Silver Creek. Just major kudos. Remind remind me to give you a special Patreon bonus. And then some. That's going to be a little bit short. This is just a really tough pin to actually get all the way to. Not only are you playing it up and over, but then you have the OB behind it, OB to the right. This is a dangerous putt, even for one of the best in the world in Matt Bell. All right, just the right amount of loft. Again, can't be too aggressive because almost from every angle you could go deep and find the OB road. Isaac was in good position though. And this is an incredible drive here by Emerson. That's just a bit off the mark. As expected, Emerson keeping control and focus, maybe a little bit frustrated, but internalizing it if so. And the fourth most difficult, just 6% of the field taking birdies. Interestingly enough, 6% of the field that took birdies, none of them do we find in the top 10 spots after round one. So that much more of a bonus? I don't know how you break that down, but it seems like it. You move over to hole 18. This is a combined 2 holes. Right there, we just went past one of the baskets, and then this plays down to what would be the next hole. And so many players, so much feedback about how much they enjoyed this hybrid hole, the combined hole of these 2 shots. We're playing from the long championship tees. And you're really trying to get out toward where that spotter is. Anything short and right will be terrible, will be jail and very punishing. And you're just trying to put it out and get it all the way to the edge where you would typically have the short basket or the regular basket. That should put him in good position.
Thanks.
3 pretty impressive drives so far. And maybe a bit low, but he's in the open. We'll see what he has to do. And Bell is trying to bite off as much as he can to get himself down to that lower platform. There's like 3 or 4 different tiers to this hole. And that one kind of cut rolls out and to the left. Now there is a stream that we've seen in the previous few holes that plays and actually kind of surrounds this, creating like almost a peninsula type green. So down and to the left. Oh, and that one, you saw it just go out of frame on the left side. Emerson, you might not have been listening to me. There's a stream down there. And unfortunately, Emerson found it. And Jake, just in prime position, especially being left-handed, finds himself, what he's saying is a little bit short, but that is just prime position. All right, all right. Sledding hill in the winter, ridge roller in the summer. I get it. Matt proving he's having a little fun out here. That's a good looking forehand. This is Bell's third shot. And that finished down into the left. Pan left, Dustin. Little left. I got to thank the Disc Golf Pro Tour. Of course, I have to thank the incredible staff of the event and all the presenting sponsors, Discmania, Rollin Ridge, this 5K, 10K Grow Disc Golf event. Emerson, after 2 shots, leaves himself with that.
Oh, yeah.
And he,
Better on camera anyway.
he didn't get it earlier, the elusive OB birdie, but he does here on hole 18. Emerson with a solid round. He's going to finish at 8 under par. Also got to thank Dustin again. And Isaac's low. Dustin for the camera work, and thanks to this group for graciously allowing us to film you. Thanks to DGA. Remember, I need your favorite cookie, and I need to name the new disc tracking feature that may show up in some videos from time to time. So leave both of those in the comments. You're going to be eligible. We're giving away a bunch of prizes. Heck, we'll give away DGA prizes all weekend. Appreciate you guys for joining us. Thanks again, Disc Golf Pro Tour, Jim Van Lannen, Rollin Ridge, Silver Creek, Super Layout. We'll see you guys for rounds 2 and 3. Looking forward to it. Thanks so much, guys, and we'll catch you at the next one.